Hello students, my name is Gemini. Today we are going to start a chapter called as Plant Life. That is chapter number 3, class 6 ICSE Plant Life. Before going to start the chapter, you know there are living organisms. Living organisms include plant, animals, microorganisms, including human beings. So plant life. You have seen surrounding you so many plants you have seen, right? Plants are so many different varieties of plants are there. There are flowering plants, non-flowering plants, etc. So in this chapter we are going to discuss only about flowering plants. Flowering plants. So you have seen beautiful flowers surrounding you, right? They are all called as flowering plants. Now there are two main parts of flowering plants. Flowering plants has how many parts? Two parts. Number one, below the ground. Below the ground. Now for example, as you can see here, a twig of plant called as hibiscus. The part which is present below the ground, the part of plant present below the ground is called root system. Is called root system. Now for example, these are roots. This is called as root system. And the part of plant above the ground is called shoot system. Above the ground is called as shoot system. So the plant is divided into two parts mainly, root system and shoot system. What are the parts coming under shoot system? Now as you can see in this plant, there are leaves, branches, stem, flowers, buds, fruits, etc. They all come under the shoot system. Once again, flowering plants has two parts, root system and shoot system. Roots are the non-green underground part of plant. They are present below the ground. And the parts which are above the ground, as you can see here, leaves, flowers, stem, branches, fruits, buds, they all come under shoot system. Now discuss in detail about the root system. On the basis of their structure, once again, on the basis of their structure, roots are classified into two types. There are two types of roots, tap roots and fibrous roots. So roots are non-green underground part of plant. They are called as roots. There are two types of roots. First one, tap roots. These tap roots grow deeply below the soil, and they are not having main axis. They have a long axis which is broader at the base and tapering at the tip of the root. As you can see in mustard, sunflower, cabbage, rose, etc. are all examples of tap root. Mustard, rose, sunflower, cabbage. These plants have tap root systems. So very important it is, types of roots on the basis of their structure. On the basis of their structure, roots are classified into two types. Number one, tap roots. Example, mustard, rose, sunflower and cabbage. Number two, fibrous roots. As the name indicates, fibrous. As in grass, you can see here, there is no main root here. There are branches coming out of the base of the stem. There is a main root and giving out so many branches. So this is the fibrous root system. Example, grass. Grass, rice, wheat. There are so many examples of fibrous root system. The roots are like fibers here, as you can see. Tap root and fibrous root system. So what we have discussed till now about flowering plants and types of systems. There are two systems here, root system and shoot system. The part which is present below the ground, that is in the soil, is called root system. On the basis of their structure, roots are classified into two types, tap root and fibrous roots. Second, shoot system. The parts of the plant, the part of flowering plants which are above the ground, that is flowers, leaves, fruits, stem, branches are all coming under shoot system. Next, what are the functions of the root? It is very important. Functions. Now we have seen the structure of root, the meaning of root, types of roots. Now what do they function? How do they perform their functions? Number one, they grow into the soil and fix the plant firmly to the ground. As you know, animals can move, but plants, can they move? No, plants cannot move. So how they are fixed? They are fixed in the soil firmly with the help of the structures called as roots. So first point is they grow into the soil. They grow into the soil and fix the plant firmly to the ground. That is the first function. Number two, they absorb water and minerals from the soil. As you are knowing, plants are autotrophic organisms, means green plants prepare their own food with the help of process called as photosynthesis. So roots absorb water and minerals. You already know that we water the plants, right? You may also water plant in your garden or in your home or in your schools. So we water the plants. That water and minerals enter into the soil through the roots. So they absorb water and minerals. Now by absorbing water and minerals, what do? It is transported to different parts of the plant, and by which these water and minerals are used for manufacturing food. As we require food, we eat food, right? Why do we eat food? To get energy. So plants also require food, and they can synthesize their own food. They can manufacture their own food by absorbing water and minerals from the soil. That process is called as photosynthesis. This we'll study a bit later. So functions of the root. First point is they grow into the soil and fix the plant firmly into the soil. Now if I want to plant this twig, what I will do it? I will dig the ground and just fix it in the soil, and soil will hold, or the roots will hold the plant firmly. That is the main function. Second one, they absorb water and minerals. As soil has minerals, water also has minerals. That is being absorbed through roots and passing to different parts of the plant. And those minerals and water are used to manufacture or to synthesize food for performing various functions. So this is about the root system. The parts which are present below the ground. Root is present below the ground. So it is called root system. So we have discussed about root and the root system, structure of roots, types of roots, and function of, or the functions of root. Now we will come to another part of the plant, that is stem. What is stem? Stem is the main long thin part of the plant above the ground. The children, above the ground. We have already discussed there are two systems in the plant, root system and shoot system. Root system, where it is present below the ground, but stem is present above the ground. So this is one of the part of the which system? Shoot system. Plant above the ground from which leaves or flowers grow. Not only leaves and flowers, leaves, flowers, fruits, branches arise. So once again, stem is the main long part of plant above which the leaves, flowers, fruits, birds grow. As you can see this plant, this part is called as stem. This thin long part, can you see? This is called as stem. What is it giving rise to? You can see leaves, flowers, buds here. As you can see, small bud here of hibiscus plant. So it is the stem which give rise to leaves or flowers, fruits, etc. There are some different types of stem. Some stems are thick, some are weak, some are thin, some are woody also. So it is called as trunk. The hard stem is called as trunks. And there are some plants called as climbers. For example, you have seen beautiful climbers like money plant hanging from the top of the roof. They have weak stems. Their stem is not so erect. It is having weak stem. So different types of stems are there. Thick stem or hard called as trunk. Then comes weak stem, soft stem, etc. So stem is the main part of the plant giving rise to flowers, fruits, leaves, buds, etc. Stem. Now coming to some other parts which are arising from the stems. As you can see, two words here, nodes and internodes. What do you mean by the term nodes? See children, here in the stem there are some points in between. The point here, this is the node. This is also a node. So the node is a point from which the leaves arise. This part is called as node. For example, you can see here, this is the, I'll draw here, this is the stem. In between there are some joints or the points you can say from which leaves arise. So this portion is called nodes or a node. So in between there are joints called as nodes from which the leaves arise. Now what do you mean by internodes? Internodes is the space between two nodes. The space between two successive nodes is called internode. You can see here, this is one node and there is some gap here, some space here, and there is another node here. So this part is called internode. The space between two nodes is called internode. So nodes are the point or the joint from where the leaves arise or the leaves grow, and the space between two nodes is called an internode. Next, coming to buds. What do you mean by the term buds? As you can see here in this plant, there is a flower, right? This is the flower called as hibiscus. The different colors in this hibiscus. Now, does the flower grow directly after fertilization? No. First, it grows in the form of bud here. As you can see children, there are so many buds here, small buds are there, which give rise to new flower. Buds that grow at the branches is called terminal buds or apical buds. The buds which are growing at the branches, now you can see here, this is the stem and these are the branches. Now for example, this bud is growing at the branch, then this bud is called as terminal or apical buds. Buds that grow at junction of leaf and stem. The bud which is growing at the junction of leaf and the stem is called axillary bud. As you can see here, the bud which is growing between the leaf and the stem, the junction of leaf and stem is called axillary buds. Now the different types of buds. There are two types of buds, vegetative buds and floral buds. Vegetative means the bud arising from branch is called vegetative buds, and the buds which are growing into flower are called floral buds. Floral, the word floral means flower, is giving rise to flowers. So nodes and internodes, it is very important. If you can see another example, this is the leaf of neem tree. Nodes, see here also there are nodes, you can see the points from where the leaves are arising. It is called node, and the distance or the space between two nodes is called internodes. Buds that grow at the branches are called axillary buds and terminal buds, and the different types of buds are there, vegetative buds and floral buds. Further, now what is the function of a bud? Bud is very important because it protects the flower. It is, you can see this green color portion, this is called as calyx, that you will study in your higher classes. This green color portion is called as calyx. It protects the flower in the bud condition. In Kannada it is called as moggu. that is called as bud. When the flower is not yet developed, it is protected in the bud condition, that are called as buds. So where the buds are arising from? Buds are arising from the stem. So stem is a part of shoot system. It is the main long part of plant above the ground, from where leaves arise, branches arise, fruits arise, buds arise, etc. And there are nodes and internodes. These nodes and internodes play a very important role. It is the point, it is a joint from where the leaves arise. Internodes, as I told you earlier, internode is the space or the gap between two nodes, is called internodes. Buds, there are axillary buds and terminal buds, and vegetative and floral buds. Vegetative buds are the buds of branches, and floral buds are the buds of the flower. As you can see here, now the bud has developed and grown into a new flower. So this is about the part of shoot called as stem. So we have seen what is stem, the different types of stem. Now we will discuss about functions of the stem. As you know, stem is the part of the shoot system. We have discussed root system and shoot system. Stem is the part of plant which is above the ground, Now what is the function of stem? First one, stem holds the plant upright. As you can see, this plant, this is, as I already showed you the stem, it is holding the plant upright and supports the branches. As it is one of the function of stem to give rise branches. It holds the plant upright and supports the branches. Number 2, stem helps to spread out leaves. Now this is the stem. It helps to spread out its branches and gives rise to leaves. So many branches in the plant or in the trees, that is only because of the stem. It helps to spread out leaves, buds, flowers, etc. Some plants are herbs, shrubs and trees that are all supported because only of the stem. Number 3, stem carries water and minerals. As we have seen the functions of root. What does the root do? It transports water and minerals from the root. From the root it is going through the stem to the leaves. From the root to the stem, and then it is passing to the leaves and distribute food to all parts of the plant. As you know, we already seen the functions of the root. Root is absorbing, it helps in absorbing the minerals and water from the soil, and through the stem it is passing through different parts of the plant body. That is, the food is transported to all parts of the plant. So this is about the functions of the stem. Once again, stem holds the plant upright and supports the branches. Stem helps to spread out leaves, buds and flowers. It gives us so many branches so that leaves, buds, flowers grow. Stem carries water and minerals from the root to the stem and transports food to all parts of the plant. Next we come to another part of the shoot system, that is the leaf. What is the meaning of leaf? As you can see in this, leaf is, yes, you can see this leaf here. So leaf is green in color, green wider portion of the plant, and this part is called as lamina. So leaf is a flat green outgrowth of the stem. From where it is arising? It is arising from the stem. As I told you, this is the stem and this is the node from which leaves are arising. It is green in color, flat outgrowth of the stem. Now, from where does the leaf grows? The leaf grows from the node, and this space is called internode. Internode, and the entire portion, this flat portion, is called as lamina. What it is called? Lamina. Now, for example, you can see here, this part is called leaf blade or lamina, flat green portion. Now, I am holding the leaf here. This thin portion is called stalk or petiole. The leaf where we hold, that part is called as stalk or petiole. And in the leaf you can see some lines, right? You can see some lines. Those lines are called as veins and veinlets. If you draw the leaf here, you draw like this lines, isn't it? These are called as veins. Veins and veinlets. This is the vein, and these in turn again give rise to branches. They are called as veins and veinlets. They help in transport of water, minerals to the leaf, because leaf is the place where food is manufactured or prepared. So what is leaf? Leaf is a flat green portion, and it is arising from the stem. As you know, it is arising from the node. It grows from the node, and this entire portion, flat portion, is called leaf blade or lamina, and the stalk of the leaf is called, this portion is called petiole or the stalk, with thin portion, and below this leaf there are leaf blades or lamina, stalk and petiole, and from there arises buds also, and they have some branches or the lines in the leaves. They are called as veins and veinlets. They help in transport of water, minerals to the leaf, and the different types of venation. So now we'll discuss about a topic called as venation. Till now we have seen the leaf, what is leaf, different parts in a leaf, because leaf is a green flat portion arising from the nodes, and we have seen veins, veinlets also. Now what does the term venation means? Venation, you have to define the venation here. The arrangement of veins and veinlets in the leaf is called venation. Now you can see the leaf here. You can see the leaf. How these veins, how these lines are arranged. The arrangement of veins and veinlets in a leaf is called venation. There are two types of venation. Depending on the arrangement of these lines, it is divided into two types. Venation. First one, reticulate venation. First one is reticulate. Now we will discuss about what is the meaning of reticulate. Reticulate means network. Reticulate means, and write here, network. As you can see in this leaf, the arrangement is like this. I will show you. This is the veins. This type of arrangement is called reticulate venation, where there is network of these veins and veinlets. For example, hibiscus. Hibiscus is a very good example of reticulate venation. There is network of veins and veinlets. Number 2, parallel venation. As the name indicates, parallel. You have studied in mathematics, right? What are parallel lines? The two lines which do not meet each other, they run parallelly. They are called parallel. For example, if you see the leaf, this type of arrangement of veins is called parallel venation. The most common example of parallel venation you can find in banana, the leaves of banana. If you see in that, they have parallel venation. So, two types of veins are there. Venation. Number 1, reticulate venation. Reticulate venation means the veins and veinlets are forming a network. It is called reticulate venation. You find in hibiscus, China rose, etc. Parallel venation. The veins and veinlets run parallel to each other in case of banana, grass, etc. So two types of venation. Next, coming to types of leaves. Are all leaves similar? No. As you can see, I am having so many types of leaves here, right? Grass, neem, hibiscus, the different types of leaves. Number 1, simple leaf. As the name indicates, simple. What do you mean by simple leaf? So for example, this is the leaf. It is called a simple leaf. Simple leaf is called so because here the lamina, you can take this example only, the lamina is entire. It is not broken anywhere. So this entire portion is called leaf, and this leaf is called as simple leaf. Again, you can take example of hibiscus. In hibiscus, the type of leaf is simple, means the lamina, as I told you, this leaf blade is called lamina. The lamina is entire, it is not broken anywhere into leaflets. Number 2 is compound leaf. As the name indicates, compound. Here the leaf is not entire, the leaf lamina is not entire, it is broken into leaflets. Example, neem. Neem, curry leaves, there are so many examples of compound leaf. Now this is one leaf, actually this is one leaf, and again it is broken into or divided into leaflets, is called compound leaf. Draw the diagram like this. So this leaf is entire, is called simple leaf, but this leaf is not entire, it is again divided into numerous leaflets, so it is called compound leaf. So there are two types of leaf, simple leaf and compound leaf. Next, coming to the arrangement of leaves. Now we have seen stem, functions of stem, etc. How the leaves are arranged in the plant or on the stem. Arrangement of leaves. Based on the arrangement, there are three types of arrangement in the leaves. Number one, alternate. As the name indicates, alternate. This is the stem, you already know. These are nodes, you already studied. This is internode, and node is the point from where the leaf arises. Now how it is arising? In the alternate manner, alternate. So one leaf from here, another leaf from this side. This arrangement is called alternate arrangement. As you can see here, there is one leaf here, another leaf on the opposite side, on the alternate side. So it is called alternate arrangement. Means that leaf is arising from the different node is called alternate arrangement. Again the next leaf will be on this side, again on this side. So it is called alternate arrangement. Again a very good example is we can give of hibiscus. Opposite. Now you may be thinking that what is the meaning of opposite here? Now the arrangement of leaves is on opposite side. This is the stem, this is the node. Means two leaves are arising from same node opposite to each other. This is the opposite arrangement. As you can see in neem, as I showed you, this is the opposite arrangement. See, one leaf is here, one leaf is on opposite side. This is example for opposite arrangement. Number 3, whorl. What do you mean by the term whorl? Whorl means a group. Whorl means group. Means from each node, two or more leaves arise. This is the stem, this is the node. From each node, two or many, three or many also you can say, leaves arise from a single node is called whorl type of arrangement. Example, Nerium, Calotropis, Kaner, it is called Kaner in Hindi. It is an example for whorl type of arrangement. So arrangement of leaves are of three types. Alternate. See, the name itself indicates alternate. Alternate days. So you have work on alternate days, right? First you have on Sunday, then on Tuesday. Alternate days. Alternate means the leaves are arising from the node in alternate manner. Opposite. Name itself indicates opposite, as you can see here. Two leaves are arising from single node opposite to each other. Number 3, whorl. Whorl means a group. A group of leaves or two or many leaves arising from single node. So these are the arrangement of leaves in the plant.